All right, Coach Chinander's here. First one from the ticket, Connor Happer. Connor, go ahead.
Hey, Coach. Where are you there? We don't have you yet. There you are. Just wondering how much of it was the game plan against Ohio State um, to make sure you guys stop the run in that game, and does that continue with some opponents that are a little bit more run heavy?
Yeah, I mean, I think in the Big Ten, you got to stop the run every week. That's got to be a primary focus. I think they had some yards. We did a good job against the run. I was happy with those young guys up front. Um, we missed a few things. Obviously, there's a lot to learn from in that game. We could have stopped the run a little better, and we got to tighten up the coverage. Just in the underneath droppers, over guys, everything. Just got to get everything tightened up a little bit. Got to get our stunts and pressures tightened up a little bit. But overall, we did want to stop the run. I felt like last year they kind of ran the ball at will, and this year we didn't want them to do that, and I don't think they did.
Lincoln Journal Star, Steve Sipple.
Hi, Coach.
Yep.
In what ways does the challenge change against Wisconsin as opposed to Ohio State? I mean, can you compare and contrast sort of the challenges that you face?
Yeah, I think obviously both teams are really really good football teams. Ohio State's gonna they're going to run an NFL style offense, but it's a spread style, so they're going to spread the field, get you in space a little bit, try to make creases for really good athletes. Wisconsin's going to pack all 11 guys in a phone booth and try to make the fits really hard, especially on the second and third level players. So I think it's just a different style of football. Wisconsin's going to try to ram it down your throat a little bit. Ohio State's going to spread you out and try to get on the edges, get in some space. But both really good football teams, just a different philosophy overall is how they're going to try to run the ball. And I think when you're playing Ohio State, your DBs are constantly under fire, and against Wisconsin, they're making them fit the run so hard every play, and they can kind of get their eyes distracted a little bit and then try to go bombs away on them, catch them sleeping because they're so hard in the run fit. So I think it's just a little different style, but both good football teams.
One quick follow, Coach. There's a lot of talk now. They don't have Jonathan Taylor or Quintez Cephas, pretty explosive guys. How does that impact the way you look at the game?
Yeah, they don't have those guys, but I think Danny Davis is a really good football player. I've always thought Garrett Groshek was a really good football player, and I think he kind of made that offense run a little bit. Jonathan Taylor obviously was really, really good. And I don't know if you can replace him, but I thought Garrett Groshek was a good player, and Jake Ferguson's been a good player for a long time. I don't think their game plan is going to change. Obviously Cephas could, they're going to throw some 50-50 balls up to him and give him some shots downfield. I'm sure they still have to take a few shots, but I don't think their overall scheme is going to change. But like you said, Jonathan Taylor's awfully hard to replace, and I think that the run game, the scheme will stay the same. It's just going to be a little different style. The chunks won't be as huge because Jonathan Taylor could break one in any second. But the backs that they've brought in, the Kia Watson and like I said, Groshek, they're really good players as well.
Thank you.
WOWT, Joe Nugent.
Hey, Eric. Wisconsin definitely had some success on third down last week. We know Ohio State had some success there as well. Where do you feel like you need to improve the most to be better, stronger in that situation?
Yeah, good question. And I kind of that was kind of one of the things we talked about with the group yesterday. I thought we had some huge opportunities, in the first half. I thought the guys played hard. I thought the effort was good. I thought we put ourselves in position to really play a good defensive football half. But the third downs, one time we missed on a pass rush gain. Another time we had a bust in coverage. Another time we just, we got the signal from the sideline incorrectly. So I think if we can tighten up those third downs, you have an opportunity to play a really good football game last week, and you have to get it done this week in order to beat a good Wisconsin football team. But I think you hit the nail on the head there. The third down, especially the third and 7+, has got to get cleaned up.
Omaha World Herald, Sam McEwen.
Hey, Eric, thanks for doing this. I appreciate it. Obviously you guys know what's going on with Wisconsin's quarterbacks, and it could get down to the point where they use Groshek as a quarterback himself. Have you guys thought about how, Wisconsin has really not done a lot of Wildcat in its history against Nebraska, but have you guys thought about how they might try to utilize him since he played that quarterback role in high school?
Yeah, Sam, that's a great question. Ever since the news kind of broke on Twitter when it was kind of a rumor, it wasn't really substantiated yet. The first thought popped in my head was, they'll keep the same game plan. They're a well-coached football team. They'll put whoever's next up in quarterback in and run the same scheme, maybe a little less passing and a little more running. They'll do that. Or option B, the second thing that went through our head is Garrett Groshek will go in there at quarterback. I know he was I think he was a high school quarterback. Every time in the last 2 or 3 years, there's been a play where it's a double pass or a flea flicker or something. He's been the guy that's going to be the thrower. A couple of them have been blown dead, because of false starts or whatever, but he was going to be the thrower guy. So I think he can throw the football, and I think you're right about the Wildcat. They're definitely going to, I would assume, I don't know, I'm not in their meetings, but I would assume they'd try to at least make him the quarterback and give him some zone read stuff and or build some true quarterback runs with him. So we're definitely getting ready for that.
Now, because you have to defend Luke and Adrian every single day, I got to think that you guys understand a little bit about how to defend that pretty well.
Yeah, we've had a lot of reps at doing that. It's just the the amount of time and taking away preparation from their big people stuff and all their different run schemes that you have to get ready for. But our offense always does a good job, and we do good on good periods of giving us some great looks at some quarterback runs and some quarterbacks pulling the football.
Evan Bland, Omaha World Herald.
Hey, Erik, just wondering if you could assess kind of the personnel rotation you guys had in the front seven last week and just kind of how that went in terms of snaps, distribution, and all that. And then also, do you expect Luke Reimer to be part of that this weekend?
Yeah, I do. I hope, Luke was a little banged up last week, so we didn't want to rush him into anything, but I'm hoping that he's back up and he's ready to go, and he'll be part of that rotation inside. And I like the way that Coach Tuioti and Coach Dawson had different personnel in there, keeping guys fresh. A lot of young faces in that D-line, which was good to see. I'm hoping for a couple more, keeping the same rotation, but maybe getting Keem Green and Jordan Riley some more reps. And then, that the outside backer defensive end position, I thought Nick Henrich did a great job. I thought Caleb did a good job. I thought Garrett Nelson did a great job, and Feldarius Payne, when he got in there, he made some plays too, and he'll get some more reps there as well. But I like the rotation we had up in the front seven.
All right, 2 more for Erik. Sean Callahan, Husker Online.
Hey, Coach, with the situation with Cam Taylor-Britt and Deontay Williams, I assume Quentin is going to play corner for you and then Miles Farmer at safety. I mean, how do you manage that first half with those 2 guys out? And, how does that just kind of change your mindset here going into this game on Saturday?
It doesn't really change our mindset. At safety, Miles Farmer, Noah Pola-Gates, those guys have all done a great job, as well as Isaac Gifford can go in there and give you some reps at nickel or at safety. And at corner, Q and Ronald Delancey, RJ Delancey have done a great job in camp. So they understand the calls. They've been getting a lot of reps. It's not like you're throwing some guys in there that have never, played. They've been in scout team, and all of a sudden you're pulling them up. They've executed all the defense. I trust those guys. So I think, our game plan is going to be tailored to Wisconsin, not necessarily tailored to the personnel we have in the football game.
All right, and last one for Coach Chinander, Parker Gabriel, Lincoln Journal-Star.
Hey, Erik, how did you think your senior pair of inside linebackers played overall on Saturday, maybe particularly against the run? And then can that group be a strength for you going forward, especially as Luke gets back in the rotation too?
Yeah, I've been really, really happy with that group. All of whatever you want to call this thing, camp or whatever it was, since we didn't really have a 2-day camp, but the whole offseason I've been happy with those guys. I thought they played well. It's going to be super important for us to get Luke back and keep developing some guys like Va Mwaga and Garrett Snodgrass. We just need to get those guys a little break in the game. And last week they kind of had to take the lion's share for us. I'm sure they got a little tired, but I thought they played really well. I thought Colin Miller played his best football game as a Husker. And so I really think that group is going to be good, and I think they're going to continue to get better going forward.
There was a third down play where it looked like Will dropped out. It was early in the game, and then he made, I don't know what it was, 20 yards or something to get Fields down to the ground. I mean, do you get the sense that he's starting to just play like you talk about, play fast and not think so much?
Yeah, that was he was a hook dropper in cover 3, and the rush got home. Fields started breaking the pocket a little bit, and he secondary contained that quarterback run there. But both those guys, Colin Miller and Will Honus, are starting to say, starting to play, as we say, they're starting to cut it loose a little bit. They feel free. Like Coach Frost says, desire to excel, no fear of failure. They know where they're supposed to fit. They know their assignment, and they're just playing free right now. And I think they're going to continue to cut it loose even more as they continue through this season. But I'm really happy with what they're doing.
Great. Okay. Thank you, Coach. Casey
Thanks, guys.
Rogers will be